November 9th, 1966. After leaving a Beatles meeting, furious at the other Beatles, Paul McCartney got in his Mini Cooper and started driving off. Arriving at a cross-section, Paul didn't know the lights had changed and crashed into another car and was beheaded in the process. People gathered around and saw what looked like a familiar face, but the claps cleared the scene. John, George, and Ringo were told the news. They all came up with a plan to replace Paul. They hosted a look-alike contest secretly, and goodness knows what happened to the people who didn't win. But a young man, William Billy Campbell, who was born in Scotland on September 9th, 1937, who was now the new Paul. All four Beatles grew mustaches, and John, George, and Ringo taught Billy how to sing, act, and overall be like Paul. And to play the piano, orchestrate, play the bass, play the guitar, and more. And began working on Sgt. Pepper in 1967. They started dropping hints on their album because they felt guilty, such as In a Day in the Life and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And on the cover, too. The band would not tour in 1967 through 1968. In 1968, they were working on the album, and this slipped out.
There's no use me playing the bass because I don't know anything on it.
Say that, there knows me feelings.
I'll just listen. It was bad. That's what I mean. I went through all that last time, so I'm playing it. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking bass. That's what I mean. Okay, should we do this?
Billy doesn't know the bass and was just playing it by ear. But still more clues in I'm So Tired and Revolution 9. On October 6, 1968, the Beatles played Hey Jude live after a short break in 1968. January 1969, they went back into the studio, ready to make some songs, and figured out where they'd play live shows. But they would limit it to a rooftop concert. Later in 1969, they'd come back to create Abbey Road. They dropped hints in the cover and not in the songs. A Funeral Procession is the Abbey Road cover. Subliminal messages like 28 If. Also getting facial and tonal differences between Paul and William. Anyway, William moves to Scotland and raises his wife and kids in privacy out of the spotlight. This is when people start finding out through radio clues and messages that Paul McCartney might be dead. When a group of reporters go to William's remote farm in Scotland, after some protesting done by William, he agrees to do an interview with the heading, Paul is Still With Us, which was published on November 24th, 1969. But if you hold it up to the light, you'll see a car going through William through the other page, recreating Paul McCartney's accident. And that's the story. The story of someone who got away with a crime and even benefited off of it, potentially.